I'm speaking with Tyler McMurtry with SGI about the first traffic safety spotlight of the new year. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good. So to start off 2021, we're talking about intersections and railway safety. Why is this important to talk about?
Well, one of the things that people might not realize is that a very, very significant proportion of all collisions happen at intersections, even though intersections make up a relatively small number of the kilometers that you would drive in a given day. But we wanted drivers, especially during the month of January when we're shining that traffic safety spotlight on this topic, to be introspective about intersections and think about the many different types of intersections that you might drive through in the course of a given, one trip. And you might see uncontrolled intersections, controlled intersections, stop signs, traffic lights, yield signs, roundabouts, and three and four-way stops. You'll go through a number of different intersections, and we want people to think about their driving behavior in them and make sure that they're doing the right things.
And are there a high number of accidents caused in intersections, would you say?
Yes, I would say that. In fact, our statistics indicate that approximately 46%, so that's nearly half of all collisions that take place happen in or around intersections. And you can see why, right? There's a lot of different things going on. There's vehicles coming across and intersecting. There's pedestrians maybe crossing as well. And so that's something that drivers need to be aware of, and why we talk so much about the importance of maintaining your focus on the road, not being distracted, because a high number of collisions that happen that are related to distracted driving also take place in or around intersections.
And what kind of safety points is SGI wanting to highlight for residents to know about concerning intersections and railways?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, a number of things that you can do to reduce your chances of being in a collision in an intersection. We always want drivers to give their full and undivided attention to the road, of course. We want them to be aware of any stop signs or traffic lights that they may be coming up on. We want them to also be aware of other road users, other vehicles, whether they're coming across, whether they're doing a left turn in front of them, or pedestrians as well. And of course, in the warmer months, you might see people on their bicycles and motorcycles as well thrown into the mix, which reduced visibility for those more vulnerable road users on bicycles, pedestrians, and people using motorcycles as well. We advise people not to pass other vehicles as you're in an intersection, or even really getting close to one, and don't always assume that other drivers are going to obey the rules of the road. We certainly, of course, hope that's going to be the case, but you need to expect the unexpected. So that's one of the reasons why we say, avoid any type of distractions, keep your focus on the road, and be aware of what other drivers not are supposed to do necessarily, but what you can see they intend to do. And speaking of intentions, another great thing to do whenever you're dealing with an intersection is signal your intentions. If you're going to be turning right or turning left, make sure that you signal your intentions. Don't wait till you're actually in the process of turning or changing lanes to flip that signal light. Do it beforehand so other drivers will know what you are intending to do, and you can react accordingly. And they can react accordingly, I should say.
And can you expand a bit on the sub-focus that SGI is wanting to talk about railway safety as well?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things that people should think of railway crossings as, they are, in fact, another type of intersection, but the consequences of a collision in railways are often very, very more significant. You see a relatively small number of collisions there on a yearly basis. Our numbers indicate, an average of 16 collisions in a given year between vehicles and trains. However, those small number of collisions have serious consequences. You see an average of 9 injuries and 2 fatalities from that relatively small number of collisions. So you want to think about that and give those trains the respect that they're due. The other thing to keep in mind is trains always have the right of way. You never want to race the train to get across. Those few moments that you'll save by beating the train are not worth the risk that you'll incur by trying to cross the track as a train is approaching. You'll want to be aware of any signals that are happening, but there are also in many rural parts of the province, especially, a lot of uncontrolled railway crossings. So it's very important for drivers to make sure that they are aware that of whether a train is coming by. Listening for the horn, of course, but also just keeping their eyes open, looking in both directions, and making sure that they're not going to be surprised by a train.
And is there anything else you want to add for residents to know about for starting off 2021 for SGI?
Well, definitely. Just in terms of this focus on when it comes to intersection infractions, and including railway crossings, disobeying any signals, traffic signals like stop signs, traffic lights, or railway crossing signals, those carry a fine of $230 plus another 3 demerits on your license. I think we're all dealing with, post-holiday credit card bills. Nobody wants to add another financial commitment on top of that. And I really think that, just staying alert, obeying the rules of the road, will really help people avoid getting into a collision in one of these situations.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me again today, Tyler.
Always great talking to you, Shelby.